How's everyone doing today? I wanted to hop on and talk. So I got the download a few days ago that it was time to quit smoking. And I want to talk to you guys about that. It's been a fucking struggle. But so I've been smoking since I was like 11 and I'm 45. And about 3 days ago, I got a really strong download that it was time to quit smoking. I have emphysema. And I knew, like, the pain was there. I knew it was getting worse. And I knew if I told my partner that he would really hold me accountable. So I was trying not to. But the download came and it said, you need to quit smoking right now. And I've been smoking over 2 packs a day since my daughter died. And so I was going to just try to quit the next day because I was scared. But I wanted to hold myself accountable and be real with my progress, because quitting smoking for me is harder than quitting heroin. And so from smoking about 45 cigarettes a day, the first day I smoked 10. Yesterday I smoked 10. And today I've had 2. And my skin's crawling. Like, I never really thought about withdrawal. I went through hardcore withdrawal from heroin. But I'm super uncomfortable. But I'm doing it. And I have no cigarettes here. I have no means here. My partner went to work and took everything that I could have smoked or made. Cigarette. We sometimes will roll our cigarettes, and so he took all that. So I can't, and that's good. But like I said, my skin's crawling. But I'm really fucking proud of myself. At first, I was really down that I didn't wake up and not smoke. But 2 cigarettes when normally I would have already gone through a pack by now, at least. I gotta be proud of myself for that. I don't want to quit, but it's time. I'm tired of smelling like cigarettes. I can't really taste and smell very good. And 2 cigarettes today so far, and I'll probably have 1 before bed. So today might be a 3 cigarette day. And I may try to stick with that for a few days. And then hopefully just put them down. I can't vape because of my emphysema. So it's like, it's a struggle. But I never would have thought that I would be sitting here at 2:15 in the afternoon and I've only had 2 cigarettes, so it's a big deal. I'm starting to cough up a bunch of shit. I know don't have a smoker's cough like when I'm smoking, but every time I try to quit, I get a smoker's cough. So it sucks, it's hard, but my 7-year-old does not believe that I can quit, and so I'm proving it to her, and I'm showing her, that even the hardest things sometimes we can get through them. I know there's a lot of people on here I see that are trying to quit smoking. Are any of you guys smokers? And have you succeeded in quitting, or are you just smoking? I want to find a community that can, help me with this, and I can help them with this because it's a huge deal. I quit for a while about 3 years ago. I did use a vape, which did a lot of harm. My doctor said, do not vape. That's, moisture in your lungs. So I don't get that opportunity to use that to step down. So I just get a step down, and it feels really weird. Like I chain smoke, I just chain smoke. And the couple that I've had, it's weird to smoke it, put it down, and be done, you know? But so that's my progress on my smoking. It's, not what I envisioned, but I've smoked 30 or 22 cigarettes in 3 days, and normally in 3 days I would be at like 140 or something like that. So, I mean, it's some good fucking progress. I just wish my skin wasn't crawling. But I also wanted to get on here and talk to you guys. I know my content has been really all over the place since I stopped talking about my book and reading my blog. And I wanted to know, like, what are you guys interested in? Are you interested in more of that, more of the blog? I'm willing to go down that road and continue my book, adding the latest tragedy in. I am scared to add the latest tragedy in because it's going to bring me right back into that trauma. And I live that trauma every day. I do. But, I'm on here talking about awakening and all these things because that's what's saved me. That's what's changed my life as a mother, as a person, as an individual, as the law of one, as everything. It's changed my life. And it's hard to have that kind of joy and not want to give it to everybody. But I feel a lot of resistance from some people, especially people that I'm really close with. And it's really hard because if you are someone who has awakened, you know that comes with the severe desire, extreme desire to share it and a purpose. And sometimes I feel like I'm sharing it to absolutely no avail, to no point at all, because I'm not getting a lot of responses or reactions or thoughts or me toos or anything with it. And but it's so important to me. If you knew me before, I was in fight or flight. I was losing my mind. I had been grieving for years and working, single mom, all the things. And then I just lost my third child this year, and I'm not in fight or flight. And I am grieving, but I'm awoke. I've gone through some really fucking hard processes to get to this understanding of being awoke and of understanding the science and spirituality of it. And I want it for everyone, but it doesn't mean everyone wants it, and that's hard for me because I've never had joy. And I have joy, and my daughter, my 7-year-old, is following. She's following suit. And so it's real, and also, like I said, scientifically backed. Like we're finding that science is having no choice but to see that we are spiritual beings and that, it's not what we thought. It's just not what we thought. The power and the everything is inside. The yogis who have all of these, they can heal, they can do all these things. It's not because they traveled the world and they found all the answers. It's because they sit and they spend all of their time internally. And that's how they found their answers and their power and their strengths and the everything, being able to heal, being able to have sight into other dimensions, even other realms, is because they sit, not because they go on this journey to find something. It's all right here. And every every cell in my body wants to share this. But I'm not sure if I have the audience for this, and I'm trying to build that on YouTube, because I cannot explain like the intense need to share this. It's just part of me now. Like, once I awoke completely, and I've had a couple different types of awakenings, and I'm sure there's more to come. There's always more to learn. But it just comes with this. You see people on YouTube and all these platforms just shouting out, manifesting all these things. And some people do take it a little too commercial for me, but it's so real. And if you just go look, watch some of the new, or the modern day scientists, and listen to what they have to say. They're so awestruck on what they're finding. Like, it's all spiritual and it's all connected. And to know that there's like these particles and these molecules and these quarks and all these things, and some of them can be in one place and also at the same place at the other time. Some of them don't exist unless you're looking at them. Like, it's really crazy and it's intense. And the quantum part of life is our imagination, right? It's our imagination, because we can't actually see that. We can't actually, like, on my hand, I can't see all the molecules and all of the things that are moving and vibrating, and I can't see them. So we know they're there, so we use our imagination to believe that, right? So using your imagination is creation. So some of the movies, let's say Hollywood, some of the movies that were put out like in the 80s and the 90s, some of those movies, we're living those realities now, which seemed like such science fiction back then. So whatever way humanity goes now is what's going to be lived in the future for our children. So if we all choose to wake up, look inside, become the tree, become the water, become the air, become the things, to become knowledgeable, not go look at them, but become them. Sit down, meditate, go inside, find the answers internally. The future is going to be great, and everybody's talking about the end of the world and all the wars and all the things that are going to happen. And there are things that are happening that are horrible. And a lot of us are expecting worse, there's some crazy shit out there. And, but my point is we have a choice as the law of one. If we're all thinking in the same way, if we're all thinking the same thoughts, that's what's going to be our next reality. If we're all believing and talking about and watching things on, World War III and the end of humanity, that's going to be the reality, I believe. If we're all becoming awake and we're all thinking, the law of one and reaching this level of spirituality and vibration, that's going to be our future. So it's not, set. We do sign our soul contracts for who we're going to be in this life. But we still have free will. Free will. And I don't think we can change everything. I don't. But I think we can sway things. I really do. I don't know if, you sign your soul contract and, you know exactly what's going to happen, and that's how it's going to happen to a T. I've heard both things. I've heard that you can change it a little bit, and I've heard that you just have to follow it. But I know that I signed a contract to be abused. I signed a contract to watch 3 of my children die. And I signed a contract to have a child when I wasn't physically able to have children at age 38. And that child remembered all her past lives. And she told me how the universe works. She taught me about reincarnation when she was like 3 and 4 years old. She told me about her soul contract when she was 3. She told me that my daughter Poppy, who was killed by my abuser, was with her and told her to come into my tummy when she was 3 years old. This is a child that wasn't supposed to be born, like physically wasn't supposed to be born. My abuser raped me and hurt me so bad the night I gave birth to Poppy. I hemorrhaged and I went to the hospital and I almost died. And I was not I was not able to have children. The doctors had to do extensive work. I was not able to have children. Then I went into menopause early, starting around 36. So I'm not only going through menopause, but I've had 7 years of not being able to carry or conceive, and it never happened. And then all of a sudden, here's this little child in my stomach, and I wasn't having sex that much. I mean, I was, but not a whole lot, you know, and it's just so crazy to think about. And then she's born, and she remembers past lives, and she talks all this stuff, and I was at first like, what in the hell is going on? You know, but she's the one that kind of started opening my eyes to this other part of life, which is a spiritual part of life. Like, she knew about soul contracts years before I even heard about them. You know, so Jill, Poppy, me, Colette, Holly, all of us, we're all together setting our soul contracts. You spend each life with the same group of people, but in a different manner. And I'm going off on this again because it also comes with going through facing yourself. You know, if you want to heal, if you want to feel better, if you want to get through your trauma, your sexual trauma, your abuse, your trafficking, your all the things, loss of children, you can either kill yourself or you can heal. And it's been a battle for so many years of my life. Like, the way I describe it to my partner is every day of my life, I'm fighting to stay alive or not. And that is what brought me to this awakening and to this soul searching. And it helped, and it worked. And it not only helped me, it's helping my 7-year-old. It's helping my 25-year-old. You know, I'm a different person. I've changed my reality. I got rid of my borderline by balancing my chakras, by studying, by reading, by doing the work. And as much as I grieve for my kids, I can have joy and laugh with my little one. And I'm starting to try to eat better. I'm obviously stopping smoking. You know, there's so many benefits that have come with this. All awakening is expanding your vision from what we've been programmed. And what we've been programmed is what we learned in school, what our parents raised us to be. Church, government, that's our programming. I know most of us don't believe in the government. I believe that most of us don't believe in a lot of the things that we've been programmed. But we just go along with it because it's easy and it's life and it's what everybody else is doing, right? But I promise you, the moment you decide to go against the flow and look within, every single thing is going to change for you. For the better. For the better. I really shouldn't be alive. You know, I don't know many people who would be. You know, I am completely shredded that Colette's not here anymore with me. But because I've taken the time and put in the hard work, I'm alive for my other kids and I'm stopping the generational trauma. And that's why I'm so desperate to open your guys' eyes to this. And like I said, I don't feel a lot of agreement or understanding or believing my path from you guys, and that's okay. I'm not going to stop though, because it's in me so deeply to continue to share all of these things. I need to pick like each thing that I've done, each step that I've made to get here, and talk about it on each new post that I make. I know someone who believes in all of it and has seen the significant change in me. But the reason they haven't taken the step is because meditation is hard work, you know. It's hard to quiet your mind. It's hard to read books. It's hard to take the time, but it's not. It's actually life-saving. You know, it really is. You know, if I hadn't gone through with killing myself, I would just be miserable and frustrated and grouchy and not having fun playing with my 7-year-old. You know, I would be teaching her that life is just misery. And it really isn't. We're here in this third dimension, the world, the earth is the third dimension. We're here to have fun and to learn. And we're all just working so hard, trying to make a living, trying to make a retirement, trying to do all these things. We're not having fun, except the select, you know, small population of billionaires. The rest of us are slaving away to maybe be able to go on a vacation before we die, you know? And I refuse. I fucking refuse. I've had so much fucking pain in my life. I'm going to enjoy it now, not when I retire. Now. Because if I don't, I'm not going to make it. And I know there are so many people out there white-knuckling it and just surviving. Why wouldn't you want to learn how to smile and have real joy? Like, tell me why. Is it the work? Is it the time? Is it the dark night of the soul? Is it facing yourself? Because I am happy to walk you through it. So happy to walk you through it. Just for the fact of knowing that someone else has real joy. Up until the last 3 years, I truly believed that every single person on this earth was just complete misery. But it doesn't have to be that way. And if, like I said, if you knew me before, this is like such a testimony, such a living truth of someone that can turn around. You know, I was self-harm. I still struggle with my eating disorder, but it's a big priority right now. Smoking down to 2 cigarettes right now. I mean, I'm doing things so much better, and I have the will to feel better. You know, before when I was sick, like if I hadn't eaten in like 2 weeks and just I was in pain, you know, my bones, all the things, I'd just kind of wait and see if it would just take me. But now I try to eat, even if I'm not hungry. You know, I'm trying to live, not miserably fucking survive anymore. And I know there's a lot of different talks out there. There's probably so much confusion. You know, some people think dimensions are a place. Some people think that, you know, there's just so many different things. And dimensions aren't a destination. They're a state of mind. And from my understanding, we are opening up our minds to the 5th dimension right now. Like we already are opening up our minds to the 5th dimension. That doesn't mean we're all gonna levitate up into a different space. It means the space we're in is going to have a different point of view. We're going to start seeing things differently, feeling different. You know, we're going to start understanding things from a different level, not from what we've been taught to do, act, say, and be. That's freedom, folks. And freedom is joy. And that's why I want to give this to you so bad. That's why I will not stop talking about it. So if it's something that you are not into or don't have a care about and you just are okay with, going on the way you are, please share my channel with someone who you know is interested in this stuff. Because I just can't, it's just so deeply embedded in my heart to give this to you guys. I have been fucking miserable for 45 years. Just miserable, on the cusp of suicide daily. I have two daughters left out of 5 children. One headstone's not even up yet. So, if anything, take that as a testimony. Take that and hear what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be a channeler. You don't have to be a clairvoyant. You don't have to, any of that stuff. But facing yourself and going inside and looking at your own self inside and finding your own answers of who you are and what your purpose is, that's the base of it. And it is hard, but it's so worth it. It's so fucking worth it. Because I can go get my little girl here in a couple hours from school, and I can play with her and be happy. Instead of sit out on my back porch and smoke 45 cigarettes until she goes to bed. Miserable in my own mind, grieving, all the things. Now there's a place for grieving. When it hits, I cry and I miss her and I think about her. But then I let it go. And I try to remember, this was her soul contract. And if we believe in the law of one, which we do, I do, I miss her as a mom, as this life. But there's been many lives that I've had, whatever, who knows? I haven't been able to remember my past lives. But thank you for all the likes, Miss Jen. I really appreciate that. It could be that I was something horrible. I'm sure I was. I know I'm an old soul. I'm sure I've had horrible experiences as being the bad guy myself. And I just can't not recognize that maybe that's why I signed up for this one, to where I'm the one that's tortured this time. Because maybe I did the torturing. And that is why it is so detrimental that we don't judge. Because we've all lived so many different characters, avatars, lives. We've all been there, done that. From the grossest, most disgusting to the most amazing and beautiful. And this is the first time and the first life that I've been conscious enough, conscious at all, and aware and paying attention, that I can realize that and truly understand what not judging means. It means don't fucking judge, because you've most likely done it. And I'm talking from a serial killer to Hitler to, a horrible person. But that's why we have these lives, that we have these tests that we get to pass, and being conscious is the way you get to pass these tests and move on from being that horrible person. The next soul contract, I'm conscious. I'm conscious. I don't think I've ever been conscious because I don't remember my past lives. I have glimpses of little things that I wonder. Or maybe these glimpses of these people that I'm seeing are reflections of myself, There's so many, I'm a ray of light. I'm a distorted ray of light, and every distortion of me is a different Missy, a higher self, a different Missy. And you can learn from that. And this, again, I'm going to keep saying it. This is science. Go look all of this up as far as science, scientifically. Because that's how I can, well, even without that, like in my heart of hearts, this is just 100% truth. But having the scientific backing now with all of the technology that we have and the abilities that we have is helpful. You know, it's helpful to know that it's all scientifically backed now. Science and spirituality. We've come to a point to where we're starting to, what I believe is repeat. What happened in ancient times was they came to this. They came to this great awakening. And that's how the pyramids were made. That's how all of these things that we were like, how the fuck did they do this without all these tools and all these things? It's because they were conscious and then it repeated itself. And we're coming to that conscious time again. So if you're here, try to start paying attention. It's about living in the moment. It's about having fun. We're in the third dimension. What else is there to do besides work and slave away and stress about money? Like, I don't really think that's the purpose for this intricate life. Like, even our biology, like, really? That much intense work just to slave away until we die? I just can't and won't believe that. We need to have fun. We need to have joy. We need to know who we are. And we need to share it. And I can't stop. So I'm sorry. Not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I can't stop. And I will keep sharing my story. You guys have to speak up, though. You have to speak up and tell me what you want to hear. I have a poll going on my YouTube, like I said in my last post, what your thoughts are about psilocybin and what it does and what it is. And because I read some medical, transcripts and papers and reports and stuff, quite a few of them on that to find out some information about it. So I wanted to ask you guys some questions before I did my podcast on it. I want to see what thought you've put into things before I just start spouting off. Like, what are your guys' lives like? Like, do you just do the wake up 9 to 5, don't put time and energy into meditating? Like, are you satisfied where you're at, or do you meditate? And do you try? And are you looking for something more, I guess, is a good way to put it. Are you looking for something more than what we're conditioned and programmed to be and do? Look at the earth, you guys. Look outside. Like, look at the trees, look at the mountains, look at the sky, look at the water, look at everything. It's beautiful. We don't see it. We don't spend time in it because we're programmed to be the slaves to the government, to the rich. And I'm not. I refuse. I fucking refuse. I refuse. And I want you guys to refuse. I want you guys to smile. I want you guys to be happy is what I want. And I just can't get it out of my head that with burying 3 fucking children and still having joy because I've put the work in and done my onion work and my dark night, which I'm still in. Yeah, it was hard, but the trade-off is worth every bit of the hard. What's hard? Sitting down and trying to learn how to quiet your mind. Is it that hard? Not really, you guys. It's really not. It's hard to look in the mirror if you have guilt and shame. That part is hard. But I also, let me tell you about guilt and shame. Had I not gone back to my abuser, my daughter would maybe still be alive. But I can't think that way. And I don't anymore. But that's the way I lived for so many fucking years. And that still sneaks in with Colette. Had I been anything different, maybe she'd still be here. But no, she wouldn't. I couldn't have changed that outcome. But I can change my point of view and my outcome and my experience as Missy on this earth in this time. 45 years of misery. I plan the rest to not be. Because I just can't take it anymore. And I don't want to come back and have to learn all these fucking lessons again. I want to pass the tests this time around. And I'm now recognizing the tests. That download, quit smoking. Okay. Like I haven't got that message before. I'm listening now. Because that guidance is not from an evil place. It's from my own self. Because we're all one, right? So it's coming from you and you and you. We're all telling me to quit smoking. I am telling myself to quit smoking because I have gone inside enough to know, to see what it's doing to my lungs and how much my emphysema is growing. Because I can see. Because I'm slowed down. I'm slowed down. Enough. I like that, Rose. So I'm not trying to talk at you. I'm sorry. It's not that much work. And like I said, I would be happy if anybody wants to know the first step, just message me and I'll give it to you. And I'll help walk you through it. And I'm not asking for money for it. I want to help you guys not live the way I've lived and that we've all lived for so long. I just want to give. I want to help. That's what I want. And I've been really discouraged, feeling the resistance, but I'm not going to be discouraged. I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to manifest and believe that the audience that wants this is going to come. Because that's really what I can do, right? That's what I'm going to do. So come to me so I can help you. So I can help you smile. If you've lost children, if you've been through some shit, I promise you there's a side that can make your brain understand it in a way to where you're not bitter and angry. You're hurt. You'll always be hurt and grieving. But the bitterness and anger and what the fuck? Why? Why did you take my kid? Why this? Why that? What did I do wrong? It's my fault. All that can go away. And if you live that, you know how heavy that is. It is so goddamn heavy. And you can get rid of that just by having a different point of view. A different point of view. Walk over there and look at it. Walk over there and look at it. Look at it from different angles. Ask people their perspectives. Ask people their points of view. My partner and I don't know. I'm starting to think we're twin flames because he can help me with anything and I can help him with anything. I'm a really cold person. I get so fucking cold. And then if we turn the heater on, I'm like freaking out, taking my clothes off. I have a really bad, weird problem with temperature. I can't tell temperature other than I'm freezing. I have to have Jill check her own bath water to make sure it's not too hot or cold because I can't tell. And so I was really cold the other night and my partner put the heater on me and I'm like, oh my God, I can't breathe. I'm so hot. And he's like, wait a minute, chill out. He's like, just close your eyes and feel the heat and imagine you're laying out in the sun rays. And like my point of view just changed so fucking fast. It was insane. And that's just from having an open mind and being able to hear someone else's point of view. It gave me a new perspective. And it changed me in that moment. Do you know what I mean? So listening to other people's perspectives and experiences and points of views, don't run from it. That's freedom. That's freedom, folks. And that's happiness and joy. And it's peace and balance. And I keep saying this, if I can have it, you can have it. And I'm going to keep sharing, but I got to get ready to go get my pumpkin. So I hope you guys all have a really good day, and thank you for joining me. I will try to start going live a little bit later in the evening because that's when everybody's available. I used to do it when I was working, but now that I'm a stay-at-home artist, I can go live anytime, and I need to really pay attention. If you feel so inclined, put a good time in the comments, maybe around 7 o'clock at night, West Coast time. That might be a better time than during the day while everybody's at work. Hopefully soon, people won't be at work, and they'll be, bringing their own needs into their life, their own way, and having freedom. And then we can go live and do whatever we want anytime because we're all free, right? That's the goal. Happiness, smiling, freedom. So, thank you guys for all of the thoughts. Tomorrow, I won't smoke any more than I did today. And then the next day, we're going to go for none. I can't believe I literally have like over 150 less cigarettes in my system in just 3 days. It's a really weird feeling. And it makes my skin crawl. But I know after I get over it, 3 days with none, I know I'll be okay because I did that all the time when I went to jail. But by the third day, I was good to go. So I'll get there. And I can use your help. There's a lot of power in thought. If you just think Missy's a non-smoker, it's going to help me be a non-smoker. All right, you guys. I will try to jump on tonight and see what this looks like, when I used to go live, it was always at night and I would have thousands. And so I'm trying to figure out the analytics again, daytime, morning, not a lot going on. So, and I'm getting ready to go do my cell regeneration session and I can't wait to tell you guys about it. I'll bring my camera in and show you guys all the stuff, and that'll be pretty cool. And I think while I'm quitting smoking, it's probably going to be one of the best times I could ever do an hour-long cell regeneration.